game last night in LA. You were in the building, and we'll get to what that means for the Lakers and Knicks in just a moment. But S.A., there was a moment in the game that we want to address.
That was LeBron James coming up to me, unexpectedly, I might add, to confront me about making sure that I mind what I say about his son. Can't repeat the words because they ain't suited for FCC airwaves. That's what he was doing. Really? And I thought long and hard about this over the last few hours because I had no intentions, Molly, of talking about this at all.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because it was a one-on-one, I wouldn't say a conversation, but it was a one-on-one confrontation. But then I wake up and everybody from ESPN and my agent and everybody else were sending me that this thing had gone viral. And so ultimately it was unavoidable, and that is why I have to discuss it now. That wasn't a basketball player confronting me. That was a parent. That was a father. And I can't sit here and be angry or feel slighted by LeBron James in any way in that regard. By all accounts, he's obviously a wonderful family man and a wonderful father who cares very, very deeply about his son. And based on some of the comments that he had heard, or shall I say, I think he thought he heard, he clearly took exception to some of the things that he heard me say, and he confronted me about it. For the record, his agent and friend, Rich Paul, has my number. Maverick Carter, who works under him, has my number.
Okay.
LeBron James knows how to get in contact with me if he wanted to.
Okay.
He never called, because had he called and wanted to talk to me, I would have accepted that call. Had he wanted to see me, I would have flown out and I would have seen him and I would have had a conversation man to man.
I'm gonna break this down, but first time listening to this, and that's actually important information right there. The whole LeBron James can get in contact with Stephen A. with one phone call, but let's get to the rest of this.
But that is not what he elected to do. Instead, he elected to confront me while I was sitting courtside. Ari Emanuel, the head of William Morris Endeavor, one of the agencies that represents me, along with Larry David, was sitting courtside. I was with them for the game. And he walked right up to me and he said what he had to say. And apparently he feels like I was slighting his son. Now let me tell you what I feel.
Oh, okay.
What I would have said if we were in a different environment, because I was not going to engage in a confrontation at that particular moment in that setting. But if we had had that conversation, I would have said to LeBron James, I never would speak negatively about your son. I was talking about you, meaning you, LeBron James. I have nothing but the best wishes for Bronny James. I wish him nothing but the best. I hope that he flourishes into an NBA star. Usually in other sports, we see all-stars, and on occasion we'll see their children become stars as well. That doesn't really happen with the NBA. I sincerely hope he's the exception. By all accounts, he's a wonderful kid. And I don't know anybody who roots against him, and it certainly isn't me. But in the same breath, at the time that we were talking about him, he was percolating to such a degree that the Bronny James stories had gone viral. And so we had to talk about it. And when I said the things that I said, I wasn't talking about Bronny James because my attitude is he's a rookie. It's going to take some time for him to get himself together. He'll be just fine, especially with J.J. Redick and the staff coaching him. I was talking about the position that he was put in by his dad, because LeBron James has been on the record, and he has said, and I'll read the quote here. There was a quote that he gave in February of 2024. The work and results will ultimately do talking, no matter what the size. If y'all don't know, he doesn't care what mock drafts say. He just works.
Man, let me tell y'all something, bro. I wanted to give this a fair listen because I didn't hear, the entire thing. But I don't care about LeBron James coming up to Stephen A. Right? I think that if he really had a problem with him, like anybody in life, you should call somebody and you should speak to them like man to man. That way you can kind of hash all this out and there could be a big misunderstanding. But to do it basically at his job, right? This is LeBron James's job. Someone's coming to basically watch him work. To confront him at that particular moment wasn't really appropriate. I mean, how much can he really say? And then if Stephen A gets out of hand, then he gets kicked out, security comes, and it just looks like a punk move. LeBron James, bro, you lose another GOAT point. A GOAT point for this, okay?
Sensational.
I mean, when I was just giving you a little bit of slack for getting the 30,000 points, and man, that was an accomplishment, which I still think it is. I was starting to give him a little bit of credit, but you have come down more on the GOAT column, right? This is why Kobe Bryant, for me, is my favorite basketball player that I got to watch, okay? I didn't get to watch Michael Jordan in his prime, and obviously Michael Jordan is one of the best. But the ones that I got to see with my two eyes is Kobe Bean Bryant. This is exactly why he would be on the top. Kobe doesn't care about all this other extra stuff. If you were talking stuff about his daughter, maybe. But I think that LeBron James going up to Stephen A. to talk about his son when his son needs work, and it's clear that his son's like his son was in the G League for some time. Like, he's been bouncing up and down from the G League. He's not ready for the NBA. You could be mad at the world for what your son is not. Listen, I'm sure your son is very, very for the average basketball player. Bronny James is definitely elite. But to the NBA, where there's actually elite players there, he's not ready. He's not ready. And people already know that. We see that. And if he was so ready when you guys drafted him, why isn't he playing and being the starter right now? I don't want to hear that you were mad at Stephen A. Smith. And my whole thing is, why point out Stephen A. Smith as the person you want to be mad at? Why is he the person you want to be upset at because your son isn't doing that well in the Laker organization? You wanted him. We all know that this was a part of the LeBron stimulus package, which was, you want to keep me, draft my son. But your son's not ready, and that's why they got Luka Doncic, because Luka Doncic is going to be the face of the Laker organization. I get that he's talking about coming up to him as a father, but he has a profession. He is an NBA basketball player, and he should be acceptable to criticism like anyone else. Anybody in the NBA can get criticized. In the NFL, any professional sport, this is what Stephen A. does. He's an analyst. He can also talk about Bronny James. But what this tells me is how soft LeBron James is, that he doesn't want people to tell the truth about his son. I'll tell the truth about his son. As far as NBA standards, his son ain't ready. His son is below par right now. He's not in the NBA. He's not a starter, and he ain't ready. Go back to the G League and do your thing down there, man. Other people deserve his spot. I don't care if his last name is James. It doesn't matter. I think this was a really weak move to come up to Stephen A. during a Lakers game or during the game. It just was weak. Michael Jordan would never do nothing like this. Instead, Michael Jordan would use that as motivation to continue to keep whooping yo behind.
Sensational.
Reggie Miller, I remember he had little antics with one particular person to get him going. But Reggie Miller, from my understanding, he just played the game. Rip Hamilton, Chauncey Billups, people that I know, not I know, but people that I watched, these people take that criticism and keep going and being better. LeBron James is the biggest baby ever. And this is why I struggle to put him in the GOAT conversation all the time, because of things like this. He is soft. He plays soft. And even just personality-wise, dude acts like a big old baby. Let me know your guys' thoughts about this. Do you think it was appropriate for LeBron James to go up to Stephen A. Smith and basically chew him out during a game because of some things that he may have heard about his son, instead of calling him? See, that's weak sauce to me. Like, if you got my number and I said something on this platform, then give me a call. Just call me. And then once you call me, we can hash it out and don't try to, you know what I'm saying, call me on here and then try to oust me out on here. You're going to look stupid. That's my thoughts on this, man. Stephen A. Smith, I don't really have a problem with him. You know what I'm saying? I actually enjoy his commentary, to be honest with you. I just think it was weak to go after him for that. I mean, he's not going after these other people for that. But I'm going to leave it right there. LeBron James loses another GOAT point, and he moves himself down on my GOAT list. And so now Kobe Bryant still stands tall. Man, I ain't gonna go through the list, man. But I for some reason, Brian James ain't. It's just that mentality, man. His mentality when it comes to basketball is just not there. And I don't like the new style of the NBA anyway, right? Let me get up out of here. Like I say, after every video, this is chess, not checkers. I'm gonna see y'all at work 2 times.